Perfect. All right, let's do this. So I got display there, display there. I've got live chat popped out right there. OBS right there. All right. Perfect. Just maybe 1 minute. It's a lot of work. Looking for my JB Weld. It's around here somewhere. Yes, I think it is. Oh, there's half of it. There we go. It's hard to navigate with the lights in the room, but hey, whatever works. Got my depot parts right here. All right, what to start with first? I got an idea for this broken part. I think I got just the thing. So what I'm going to be doing, so to start out, can you guys hear me okay? I don't know if anybody's watching it. close. What do you think? That color for this, not too bad. Pretty close. Juices, good to know. All those Rambo boards that I had. Oh no, it's too short. Oh, it's always something. Power cord too short. Well, I guess I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab an extension cord. All right, I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm grabbing an extension cord. All right. Let's do this again, shall we? Super low volume, huh? Let's up this volume. There you go. Is that much better? Or is that too loud? Let me know. You can type in Discord or you can type in YouTube chat. I got them both pulled up. It's weird. I'm seeing myself like 3 times here. Is that too much now? Better? Good. All right, so what I'm doing is I broke the cooler mount. I just snapped the part off right here. Due to some mishandling. So I'm going to repair that. With a 3D printing pen and some regular old super glue. All right, super glue. You know why. This was at like 100% infill and it still freaking broke. Almost out of this glue. Half of me is a potato, okay? The other half of me, I put the high quality camera on the desk for the zoomed in view. It's not the best, but it's what I'm working with. I forget which side goes where. I'm going to guess that this side goes here. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I can get a better mic, but it's a wired microphone, and I don't want to run it all the way to the computer, which is across the room. So if I'm a little bit quiet, I'm sorry. I'll try to talk louder. This is the only red that I have, and I don't know if it's ABS or PLA. So this should be fun. I'm gonna guess that this is PLA and this is ABS. It's a guess. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh, I do have this red too. Let's go with this one. Bend and smell, indeed. That's what I just did. It's a muted color, so I'm guessing it's ABS. Micro Center, at one point in time, sold 99-cent filament sample packs, and I bought like 2 of them just to use with the $30 pen that they had for sale. So I think I'm set on little sample packs for a while. So let's see here. So it's going to be ABS. It's heating up. Just a little OLED display. While that's heating up, we got to make sure this is set. So next, I'm going to JB Weld some cork on the bottom of the heated bed. And then I'm going to probably break out my extrusions and clean them up. I don't know if you've ever played with one of these, but they're something else. Good Lord, can you be any slower? Smells like ABS. I think the crimps are listed in the bill of materials for the D-Bot. I have them in the room if you want me to show you in a moment. After this feeds. Jesus Christ. Six speeds, and this thing is just slow. There we go. There we go, now we're talking. It's definitely ABS. All right, let's lower this down. The speed. So I've tried to show you what I'm doing here. Just trying to blend it. It's not the prettiest. Let's back it up. oozing and just use the heated tip. Go back over it just to clean it up a little bit. You can do this with a soldering iron that you don't like as well. I've been tempted to get low temp ones just for these repairs. All right, well, it isn't pretty, but hey, it'll work. Okay. All right, so repair is done. All right. So that's one thing done. Let this cool off. That out of the way. So this part's done. I have a bunch of other parts here. Let's go ahead and do the other thing that's going to take some time and JB weld this cork. Oh man, I've used this JB weld before and don't know if I'm going to be able to use it again now that I'm trying to wrestle with these caps. This one's fine. Oh Lord, Lord Almighty. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's get this out of here. Grab some tools. Let me reread this. Surface must be clean, dry, and oil-free. Squeeze out equal amounts from each tube and mix thoroughly. Let's do this. I don't need much. I rarely ever use JB Weld, as you might be able to tell from this really coated cap. That's not going to be enough. Some janky old little screwdriver here. Alright, let that mix. We'll just give this a quick cut. I'm only insulating the bottom portion. It's already correct width, just cutting it to length. Wish I had a flat edge. This is like the jankiest flat edge ever, but hey, it works. Oh, I'm twisting it as I cut. Let's lean on it while I cut then. Get away from the sticky stuff. Oh, can't see the cut. Not the cleanest cut in the world, but it'll work. Right. I don't have an applicator for this. I'm just using an old screwdriver. What are you talking about, Jake? With this stuff, I found less is more. All right. Now we gotta let that sit there and sticky up for a while. Something heavy. Oh, yes. There we go. All right. That's that. Let me go ahead and put that while we wait. This is junk. This is practically junk. See if I can salvage the little itty bitty screwdriver. Let's clean up some printed parts. Ah, the pile of glory. 115, 120 hours of printing right here. Let's get some files and some clippers. Clipper. I want a round file. Round file. And a drill bit. Grab a drill bit. Yeah, I saw on your gallery that you use those cans of vegetables for the weights. I just have stuff spread all over my room. I bought some lights for filming and streaming and stuff like that, so they're set up over here now, and it's taking up a lot more space than I would like, but it looks good. Because I have the warmest, yellowish fluorescent light bulbs in here, so the lighting is usually very, very bad. So let's see. Nope, too big. Looks like 1/8 of an inch. That's pretty good. We'll go with that. Oh no, I'm going to need the drill that I just used as a weight. Of course. This here. Well, I'll use the round file for now. So most of the parts came out pretty clean. I really like the color. It's going to look exactly like Brian's. So, should be fun. Sorry if I don't talk a whole lot. Just going to be cleaning up holes. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with this process by now. Just breaking out the little supports. That's such a clever idea. I'm very glad he did that. How he introduced the minor bridging on these overhangs, so you're able to get a lot cleaner holes without having to use supports. All right, so that's going to be my done pile. So these came out pretty well. Might come back and touch up these with a drill. I'm not going to for now. I might just do that during the build, actually. I don't want to accidentally drill out a hole that didn't need to be drilled out. Just clean up the rough overhangs and the bridging. Yeah, this was probably the most I've ever printed a project in ABS. Luckily, they were all small parts, but I didn't have any failures, which is very surprising. My janky enclosure is working, I guess. Even if it is just a IKEA special. All right. But yeah, Jake, I mean, $100 for all the parts. Definitely a fair price, I would say. After printing all of these, I don't think, I at one point thought I might want to sell Dbot parts. Just print them out and sell them. Not anymore. So, I have been cured of that desire after having printed out a full batch of them. And this isn't all of them either. There's still some in the other room, but they don't require cleanup. They're just the spacers. So I'm very excited to get my bearings in and get this together, but hey, I'll wait patiently. I can do that. I've got other projects I can be doing. Corner brackets, corner brackets, corner brackets. So many corner brackets. Just push you all over there. Printed out extras of these because wasn't sure how sturdy they were going to be. So I have some extra parts printed out. That's one good thing about printing out your own. You can print out extras and replacements in case you break any. Yeah. I mean, they all look pretty neat right now. All the spacers look very accurately printed, but I can absolutely see that being an issue. If I have to put another order in, I may put an order in for some spacers just to make my life a little bit easier. Because I actually do have to get the square nuts, because you can see, actually this is exactly a good part. So it looks like that only fits a square nut. And I'm using not square nuts, I'm using drop-in nuts. So I don't know if I'll be able to actually assemble this piece correctly without the square nut. I haven't checked the build guide exactly yet. If I'm going to buy them anyhow, it's like $7 for the square nuts. I'm just going to go ahead and put an order in for them and use them where I can, or where I have to, and then use the drop-in nuts where I have to. I don't think I need this part. I think this is part of the extruder. I don't know. Yeah, so this is the closest I came to failure with the part. How it lifted off the corner, but stayed stuck down just fine, so no issues there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and buy some square nuts. It's just, I'm not going to be doing the majority of the build with them. I'm going to be doing it with the drop-in nuts. partially for ease and partially I have them for expandability since I'm doing a lot of modifications that aren't in the stock build. So being able to quickly get them in and out and everything is actually very nice. I am a little worried that the extra pressure that gets put on it, because it's a larger nut, it might damage some parts, but we'll see. We shall see. I have plenty of printers to print out replacement parts, so I'm not too worried about any downtime that comes from that. I know this is probably very interesting for you guys. Honestly, I'm trying to get used to being in front of the camera more than anything right now. I'm going to try to stream the entire Dbot build if I can, for practice sake. And that way I get a lot more comfortable in front of the cameras and setting up the lights and how the streaming software works and everything like that. So that way I can, I'm going to try to start YouTubing, but I don't know how active I'm going to be yet. So this is kind of a dry run for me. That and the printer review that I'm doing will be a, you know, a moderate exposure kind of thing. So. I'm not starting the build entirely yet. I am just starting the prep work. So I am going to be cleaning up the printed parts, so I just put insulation on the heated bed. I'm sure there's other stuff I could be doing in the meantime as well. So I'm just going to try to start doing as much as I can while I wait for the bearings. Yeah, I can't start constructing the frame without the bearings. I mean, I probably could get a couple steps into the build without the bearings, but as soon as I have to attach any of the gantries or the Z gantry, no go, because that requires wheels. So, but I can size up my extrusions and stuff. I don't know what all I can do without bearings. Not much, I'm going to guess. Huh. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much I can do. I'll look at the guide. But for right now, just cleaning up holes and messing with it. I'm still waiting for the same tiny bearings, the 10x5s by 4s, I think, that go in the V-slot wheels. I did not buy the kits from Open Builds. I bought the bearings from AliExpress, and I picked the fastest shipper because I knew that was going to be the most delay in time. So I didn't even choose the cheapest option. But it was, like you saw, it was like $30 if you get a US shipper, or it was $10 if you get an overseas shipper. And I unwisely chose my first shipper on AliExpress, and they canceled my order on me. So that was a bummer. So that took 7 days right there to get my first order canceled. So I reordered from a different seller who also shipped, guaranteed shipping, quote unquote, in 15 days. And it's been 18 days now. So I at least get a refund from AliExpress, but I'm not going to put in the dispute until after the shipping information updates, just in case. So, I mean, I can buy bearings. Yeah, I know you bought them twice, and I might buy them again, but that's only, I'm going to wait till next week, and if I don't see any shipping updates on my current order by next week, I'm just going to go ahead and request a refund from them, and then buy them from a US shipper. Maybe Amazon. I think it's the same seller, actually, that we were looking at, because it came out to exactly the same cost as yours was. But it's like $16 or something in shipping from that one seller. And yeah, that's more than the cost of the bearings, so. I am USA, yeah. I'm on the East Coast, outside of Boston in Massachusetts. I mean, if you don't mind shipping them, I can pay you next week for them. Especially since if I don't get any updates on this order, I will absolutely gladly pay you for them. Only because I think I'd be ordering from the exact same person you did. So I think you would probably be able to ship them faster than that guy would. And I'm not only waiting on the bearings. That's the only part of the build that I'm waiting on. I am going to be getting a different control board. I'm going to be going with the Duet, like like Brian did. I hope your name's Brian, by the way, Last of Us. I remember you saying Brian, but I might be misremembering. Well, whatever it is. Sorry if I keep calling you Brian then. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get these parts put away, and I can show you what else I got. You are to me. So what is your name? I have it in my chat. I didn't go back and look. So if you don't want to type it in Discord, that's fine. I'm still watching the chat, Jake. Come on, man. So yeah, a couple hundred hours of printing, or 120 hours of printing right here, not including spacers. All on the Prusa Mark II. That guy is a workhorse. Not a single failed print. It was marvelous. Whole ABS batch, not a single failed print. Oh, I do have some. You probably saw some missing parts in there. I printed some. I think the power supply holder and some of the ramps stuff in black PETG. And those are in a separate area right now in my garage. I just don't want to haul them up. So I'm going with a red and black build, and yeah. So I have some black printed parts as well. All right, so I have my two rods that are wonderfully straight, like roll right onto the zip tie there. So both are wonderfully straight. Just no bent Z-rods here. It's so nice. And then here are the drop-in nuts I'm going to be using. I can't find the camera. So these are able to be pre-tightened onto the screw, just like the square nuts are, except these lock in place, and you can drop them into the V-slots. Same as you would a square nut, but you don't have to, kind of bend it into place. So, convenience sake, and they're like $8 for 100 of them. So I spent $16 on these guys. I'll have plenty for any expansion. You recognize all these. My flange bearings. My idler bearings for the extruder that I'm not even going to use. So I have, I think, 10 of these. So maybe some fidget spinners. It's funny how you're waiting on this part, and I'm not even using it, but I bought it. It was like $1.50 for 10 of these, so hey, whatever. Yeah, so I didn't double my hardware order. What I did is I did 10% more on everything. So if it was 20 bolts, I ordered 2 more or something like that. So I ordered a minimum of 2 more than everything. So I should be good. I pray to God I'm not missing too many. Mr. Metric is very good about their sorting though. So I trust them to be very accurate on the lower numbered orders. And maybe on like the washers or something, they might be 1 or 2 short or 1 or 2 over. Who knows? So, and those very greasy bolts, you are absolutely right about that. So I'm going to be soaking these in water to just kind of degrease them. I don't want to get my hands all oily. So this I'm going to be using. This is my tap set. I bought a fancy one because I actually kind of use it somewhat frequently, so I spent a little bit more than the bill of materials suggested to get a better tap. Some end stops, end stop, greasy bolts, another bag of greasy bolts. My power switch, GT2 belt. I already have the pulleys. And these guys, the connectors. So, yeah, fun stuff. So, I'm actually really glad I got these. I had been struggling with connectors on other printers before, and I didn't know such a kit existed, so I'm very glad it had it suggested in the building materials to extend my motor cables and everything with. Yeah, bolt lube is fun stuff. The Acme screw stuff. And then my power supply. So I don't have the part printed for this yet, but I have some plans to kind of quiet this bad boy down. So, because that guy right there, this fan, it's not overly loud, but it's definitely one of the louder parts of the build, especially if I switch to Duet. So I am reprinting out this shroud here that's going to have a small extension on it that's going to be able to fit a 120 millimeter fan that's going to be exhausting. And if I can finagle it, I want it to exhaust onto the Duet, so I want them wired somewhat close together. I don't know if that's going to happen, but in my mind, that's what I want to happen. The exhaust from the power supply cooling the control board for efficiency's sake, right? I don't think it's going to happen, but if I can make that work, that would be very awesome. So, and that's just another modification I'm going over stock, just because. So, got those. And then over here, another casualty. So this is my Titan Aero direct drive extruder. And this on the corner here that you probably can't see because I can't find the camera is a broken BL Touch mount. Now, I don't have a BL Touch yet, but I'm going to be getting one. And I wanted to mount it, and I don't want to reprint this mount because it prints with supports. And they're not a lot of fun to remove. And, you know, wasted material and stuff like that. So maybe, I don't know. I might reprint it eventually, but it doesn't seem too hard to remove, so. Yeah, Jake, if you want to put your fusion skills to work, I have a shroud for the PSU already. It's simple geometry, really. You just got to get the bolt measurements right. But if you want to design a Duet case that also goes close, I would be appreciative of that. I mean, it's not too hard to make a rectangle with a circle cut out, really. So that's some of the fun stuff I'm going to be working with through this build. I'm hoping, I don't think weight's going to be an issue. I'm not treating this as a very fast printer. So I don't mind going the pancake stepper motor. If you want to take a look at that, last of us. So that's how thin it is, and it will be able to fit in between the extrusions. So it'll still mount like a regular mount would and be able to fit under the extrusion because it's actually a 20 millimeter mount or a 20 millimeter motor, and there's a bit of an inlay in the printed part to allow for that spacing. So it will mount directly under the rail, and then the cooler that I just repaired will mount to the rear as well. And so I'll have a nice solid cooling solution all around the nozzle. Hopefully. I haven't tested it yet, but it uses a radial fan blower style cooler. So just like the popular ones for the ANET A8 use. So I should have decent part cooling on this guy. Alright, let's clear off the table here. And let's go ahead and get some extrusions out and see what they look like. Keeping these guys out. I'll leave the tap set out. I might tap those tonight. I really need to buy a metric size drill bit set. These are still Imperial. I think I 3D print enough to warrant some metric tools, but let's put these batteries over there. I don't want to bend these at all. I want these in pristine, perfectly straight condition for the build. Oh, yes. On the 2020 to see if they're straight? I can. I can also roll them on a table and see that they roll without wobbling. So this is the spares from the cut. So I kept those kind of separate. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with, you know, an 1.5 inches of extra 2020. But I'm sure glad I was able to get a chop saw. So the chop saw was very rough though. So you can see here, it was, there, let me move it actually even closer. There you go, focus. So the chop saw was definitely rough. It wasn't a clean cut, but it's doable. So I have files and I'm going to be cleaning up these extrusions, but for the most part, it's perfectly straight. So they're very square and I was very happy with it. Now, they are a very fractionally bit larger. So I cut every one with 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter extra in length where I could. So the idea being there to kind of prevent any measure twice, cut once kind of accidents, which I normally have. So I treated these as carefully as I could when I cut them in terms of length. So cut a little bit long, file a little bit down if I had to. Should be good. Goodness gracious. Oh. 15 pounds of extrusions, man. Come on. Separate off. Slide off. There we go. And I pulled the packaging out of here earlier, so these were still packaged in their the bubble tape that it came with. That's not a bad idea, Jake. I can use the extras to learn how to tap. That's probably a good practice run. You're right. I did have one injury, not an injury. So when I was chopping it off the chop saw, this was, I forget what the correct term is, but this was the part that I was chopping off, and it fell off of the side of the chop saw because it wasn't braced. So, and it just hit the side of the chop saw on the way, or the leg of the chop saw on the way down. So that's where that came from, but it's not in the track. So as long as the tracks are clean of any dents or bruises or anything like that, the wheels will ride. It will just, you know, I can paint over it or something. And there's minor scratches from when I packaged two together or something like that, but it kind of gives the printer a battle-worn look, I think. So I'm going to keep the scratches on here. Where I, you know, it's minor and it's not going to kill me, so. Yeah, chop saw was messy, but it was fast. I mean, I got this done in 30 minutes, so. For the riggers, you talking about the chop saw? I'll warn you that I used a contractor chop saw, a job site one. All right, hold on, I'm checking out something. Oh yeah, no, if I could have, I would have. Let's put it that way. It was just a little 10-inch chop saw. And I forget which blade we used, but it was a non-ferrous metal blade. So it was very nice. No sparks, no nothing. All right, so what should I use to clean up these edges with? I have a file, but I'm worried if I file them, it will scratch the paint. Yeah, I didn't buy the non-ferrous blade. I actually, my father-in-law, his family friend, has a metal shop, and they had a non-ferrous blade that fit. So I was very happy. So I bought them a case of beer. So, and I swept his garage floor, his shop floor for him. So fair trade to me. I mean, sweep a floor, buy a case of beer. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. A utility knife or maybe a bit of wire brush. No, wire brush would probably damage it too. I'll clean the holes with the file. The holes will be fine if I scratch on the inside. There's no issues with that. And then I think I'll clean up the edges with a. I have a deburring tool, but it won't fit in the extrusions. Snaggle, don't tell me that, man. That's mean. I know your bearings arrive ahead of time. Sad faces. So I'll use the utility knife to clean up the edges. Let me see what I have in terms of blades. Oh yes, while I'm here, I can show you this too. So this was my first ever custom design print in Fusion 360. It was a X-Acto blade holder with my name on it. it has a lid that broke ages ago. But yeah, this is one of my first design prints. Hold my X-Acto blades. Alright, what do we have? Flat, flat, flat. Fine, fine, fine. Chisels. There we go. Actually, I think this one's the only. This will be perfect. All right. Put the file back out. It's already cut, so it's just burrs. It's not anything I really have to worry about. And some of these holes might be tapped too, so. Actually, you know what? I might have a better solution for this, but since this is pretty easy, I'll just go with that. So yeah, riveting stream, I'm sure, guys, watching me clean up shoes. And I'll at least put it in frame so you guys can see. Yeah, this isn't enough. This X-Acto blade's not going to be enough. I have to get something a bit heftier. Clean up these edges. Yeah, so next time for the future build streams, I'm going to have a better mic setup, just to try to so I don't have to talk as loud and you guys can probably hear me a little bit better. I'm sorry if you have to turn up your volume so much. When you see me lean over like that, I'm trying to read chat. I don't have it on my tablet. I just have it on my studio monitor. By studio monitor, I mean cheap Black Friday 40K, 4K, 40-inch television that I use as a secondary monitor. So you can see the burrs in these. It's nothing too bad. It just needs a little bit of cleanup work. So I just wanted to get this stuff done before the actual build started. So that way I, save some time. Makes it look nice and clean. Yeah, this file is working all on itself. Like, I don't think I need to get much more. I just have to be careful not to put too much force into removing these so I don't scratch up the finish. Cuts are very flat. They're at a bit of an angle this way where the knife cut, or where the blade started, and then it kind of pulled it into the blade. So there is a little bit of a jump, or whatever you want to call it, on this edge. But that should be perfectly acceptable in this build. So I'm not going to be worried about filing them down to get perfectly square on all corners or anything like that. Or perfect lengths on all corners, because it's still very flat, except for the one corner. So. So, Last of Us, how are you liking your BL Touch right now? Is it worth the 40 or 50 bucks to get one? Oh, so yeah, Jake, I'll show you my microphone setup. It will be. I bought a microphone. I bought a condenser microphone just for streaming and recording and stuff like that, and playing games and stuff. But the amplifier that I had, like a USB mic amp thing, didn't work. So it came with the condenser microphone. It was a cheap $30 kit off of Amazon. So I'm not too beat up that it doesn't work. And I don't think I want multiple mics. I'll have, if I did want a multiple mic, I have webcam microphones I can use, which is what I'm using right now, actually, on a Logitech webcam. Sorry, kitty can't come in. Okay, I need to get a system, so done will be over here. I did not label these links, though, so that's going to be fun. I did buy a metric measuring tape, though. It's weird doing this away from me just so the camera can see it, but hey. Sorry about that. So is it worth the money then to get the Beal Touch? I'm definitely going to be getting one. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't have one initially purchased because I figured, oh, I can add that later, and that'll be a comfort feature for down the road and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know what the bed leveling is like on the D-Bot. It's 4-point leveling, which is usually, it's mediocre, but it's not bad. I mean, that's pretty much the standard. It's very rare that you find 3-point leveling nowadays. And 3-point leveling can still be a pain in the butt to level because of the way it works differently. But generally speaking, you get a much closer level with very little effort on a 3-point leveling system. It's just dialing it in is a little bit trickier than 4-point leveling. Still takes less time, but yeah. I actually have 2 printers now that use 3-point leveling. I have the FlashForge and the Ender 2, which also uses 3-point leveling, which is nice. But the FlashForge bed is much flatter than the Ender 2 bed, so FlashForge you can level in a jiffy. Ender 2, I've got to get some glass for that. I actually have a sheet of glass in my garage for it, but I'm keeping it 100% stock for the video review, so I didn't want to throw on any extra glass beds or part cooling fans or anything like that, just to get a fair estimate, or not estimate, but to get a fair evaluation of the stock setup of that printer before moving on to glass bed and better part cooling and auto leveling or E3D clone or anything like that. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. My friend has a dilemma at 11 o'clock at night. That's always fun. Yeah, this file seems to be working just fine. It's just I got to pick up the burrs. I don't need to cut it. It's already cut. It's just bent over in some places. And a little chip every now and again, but nothing too bad. Just slow, tedious work. You know, the perfect thing to live stream on YouTube. Slow, tedious work. That you both, I think all my watchers have actually already probably done this by now, so slow, tedious work that you've already done. Perfect. Yeah, I set it to the highest or the lowest delay I could, but you can't get all of the delay out of the live streams in YouTube. I don't even know if you can on Twitch. I'm not an active streamer, but the delay is as low as I can possibly get it. Now, whether or not I read your chat quick enough is a different story. I'm reading Discord faster than I am reading the YouTube chat, though, so. But I'm only reading the general channel of Discord. I also can't see how many viewers I have. I capped out at seven whole people watching me and being bored. I think there's 3 in here right now. If Snag, if you're in here, you'd be my 3rd. I have the stats up, but oh well. All of the 4 viewers were you. Have it set up on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, and on your TV. Surround sound. Yeah, I'm sorry you have such a long drive after work, man. An hour and a half commute would kill me. I've contemplated moving to a place that's half the cost in rent just to save some money every month. But it's also an hour minimum commute. And on bad days, it can get up to an hour and a half. And I do not want to do that. So, yeah. Could be saving $1,000 a month just to have that hour and a half commute every day to work, but I don't want to do it. Can't tell if my phone's buzzing or if it's not. Oh yeah, I probably have you beat. I literally work down the street from my job, or live down the street from my job right now, and that's why it's so expensive. Like I don't think I could live any closer unless I lived at work. Like I pull out of the housing area, and my job is like the first one. Or sorry, I pull out of my housing area, I pass the school, and then my job's right down the street. It's less than a mile away. Like as the crow flies, it's probably 3/4 of a mile away. But I'm paying for it dearly, like $2,800 a month in rent just to live close to work. It's terribly expensive. And this is a townhouse. This isn't even like a real house. But it's not an apartment, so I guess that's something. Townhouse for $2,800 a month. Rent. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Oh, that went somewhere. Okay. Well, hopefully that's not a sharp shading of metal, because that would suck. All right. Google and CB, huh? What is CB? Is that man, I think I know what it is, but it's not coming to me. That was easy. Yeah, I know where it is. I just, yeah, it's not coming to me. It's not important though. Wonder why some of this had more burrs than the other pieces. I don't know if it's cutting speed or what. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't have to pay. I was looking in the store for the saw blades. A 10-inch non-ferrous blade was what, like $85 or something like that. It was crazy. I mean, sure, you can probably make more use out of that, but I have a circular saw. Like, I would never, I would never use it on my circular saw. I don't even have a table saw to use it in. I need to get a miter saw. That's my next purchase, is a miter saw. Well, not my next purchase, but my next purchase for my workshop is a miter saw. Was that you? I know, I'm sorry, kitty cat. I think my cat is jiggling my door handle right now. It's hilarious. So, yeah, sorry if this is thrilling theater, but like I said, I'm using this as a way to get used to being in front of cameras and just kind of chatting. Yeah, cats. You know what? I'm not doing anything with my soldering iron. I'm just gonna be tapping this. He'll immediately get in the way. Yeah. Like, this cat has 2 talents in the world. Being completely ungraceful and getting in the way. Like, he knows where he's not supposed to be, and then he will head straight there. He's got a very keen talent to being in the way, or where he's not supposed to be. Never shows interest of anything, like any of the spots that he sleeps in, until we're near them and trying to do something with them. Oh, we're watching a movie, all of a sudden he loves in front of the TV. See? What did I tell you? Look at this guy. Don't mess with the lights, kitty cat. I know they're new. You'll get kicked out again if you touch that. I'm serious. Sorry if I'm boring you. Yeah, I should turn on ads now that the cat's here. Make some real moolah. You got your wish. He didn't knock any off the table, he just knocked them around. Did I mention he has no grace? So is that cutting speed for how many burrs that I get? Council Bluffs. Ah. Bye. So glad you desperately wanted in here just to knock my shit around and then leave. I'll remember that. Next time your food bowl is empty in the middle, I'm not going to shake it for you. You're going to have to suffer and die. That's not a bad idea, but I don't know why I would do it. I don't know why I'd print a frame for it. You talking about putting in a table and turning the circular saw into a table saw? Or turning it into a miter saw? Yeah, I mean, I'm down a couple printers right now, but I could pan the camera and show you 3, 4 printers. Cat, cut it out. Come on, man. All right, checking my phone again. Yeah, well, Cat's now in front of any YouTube chat, so if you're talking on YouTube, I apologize. Please don't, Cat. I don't know about you guys, but I get most of my work done after 10 p.m. It's probably not a healthy habit to have, but that's what it is. So I might be able to pick up the West Coast audience. But I don't think I'm going to be streaming much of the Dbot build before 6 p.m. Eastern. But I'm going to try to stream the entire build process. Maybe. I think I can do it. Like, I have a good space set up here. I have this large table, and I have enough tools within easy reach to kind of make it feasible. But I don't know if it's going to be very entertaining content or not. But content or no, it's going to be practice for me sitting in front of a camera. Gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha, Jake. I cut these slow. I cut all but the first, like, 2 slow. Or the first 2 cuts slow. So it might be burrs from actually cutting slow, where it started to melt a little bit, maybe. I don't know how it works with the non-ferrous blades. So the only issue I had in the cutting, again, was when I first started the cut, it would pull the inside in, it would jump a tad bit. Nothing, you know, drastic, but maybe 1/10 of a millimeter, and it would jump into the blade a little bit. And then the rest, so one side's always just a tad bit unlevel with the rest, just because of the way the saw worked, I guess. But they came out very clean otherwise. Well, very precise, but had some burrs. But that seems like a fair cost to pay for having a nice, pretty straight cut in seconds versus hours of hacksawing. So, saved me a lot of time there. I'm very thankful I didn't have to hacksaw through them. I still have the hacksaw, and I bought a miter box. So that's what I'm going to be using until I get a miter saw. Is I'll just use the miter box and a handsaw. But I don't do enough woodworking to really warrant any of those purchases. I'm just going to be building a couple planters and, you know, small summer stuff for outside. Maybe a nightstand. Not enough to warrant a huge cost, unfortunately. already spent like $500 in power tools this year, so. All right, that's the last one. All right, well, these are all cleaned up now. I need to buy a label maker for Sharpie the links on here. Because if I want to tap these, I'll have to know which ones I'm going to be tapping. Yeah, still a little upset about the damage, but hey. Set that one aside. All right, so let's take your suggestion. Let's practice some tapping. Get my M5. It's M5 for the holes I'm going to tap, right? M5 size for tapping on the ends of these? Or is it M4? All right, I'll look it up. Probably need to have the Dbot build guide saved and memorized anyhow, so. Yeah, this is a ratcheting tap. I did not get any dies, though. I don't know if I'll ever use a die. All right, let's consult the guide. Quartering apart, cutting the V-slots, yep. M5 threaded tap, so let's practice with this guy. All right, come on. Can you use a, I'm assuming you can use a power drill with these tap, but I'm not going to, I'm going to hand tap them, but. That doesn't look right. All right, so coming in. That's the opposite, so move it down. So you want to do a full rotation, then back off half the rotation. And do another full. Let's get the bit eating in to the thread first. Now this is probably very, very interesting to watch. Me fuck up tapping these holes. Very interesting content, I'm sure. It's almost easier to spin the piece, but. All right, now we're starting to bite. So backing off half. Yeah, I'm gonna label them after this. I'll use just some white Scotch tape I have laying around. All right, this warrants me standing up, so do a full rotation. Alright, so that's one. Then switch over to half rotation back. Full rotation down. How far do we have to tap these? Use oil on the thread tap. Well, glad I have my oil. Maybe I can just borrow some from the bolts. I did not buy any tapping oil or machine oil. All I have is grease. I might have some oil around here, but who knows? I think there might be a longer delay in the stream. I have my stream health at orange now, so there might be a bit of a delay. If you're telling me that I'm fucking up. If I'm not listening, it's because I've already moved on. Well, this is fun. Ooh, that last half turn is a doozy. I'm going out a little bit more than half a turn now, just to break up the chunk. Oh, the last quarter turn. Yeah, I mean, if I had more leverage, it might be a little bit easier, but it is what it is. Gotta tighten that bolt back up. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Don't have any oil. Go with it. All right, let's see how I did. Back it all the way out. I'm going to do this all in my garage when I actually do this, though, just because of all the filings here. Some oil would probably help. I have some oil I can try to use for some pneumatic tools that I have. I can probably use the same oil that you would use in a pneumatic nail gun or something. Who knows? What are you asking? 3-in-1? What, this thing? This is yeah, I think I have WD-40 somewhere in the house. It feels like something I should own. Alright, let's go back in just to go over the threads one more time. I don't know why I wasn't ratcheting. All right, so Feels clean. That's a good sign. Well, that's a good sign. Let's get an M5 bolt and let's give it a go. Man, these filings are just rough. I'm definitely going to be doing this out in the garage when I actually tap all these holes. Just to avoid freaking ruining my carpet. Alright. Let's go grab one of these M5 bolts that I got. Maybe one of the nice oily ones, right? Just so oily. So gross. Hey, that's a good sign. It's not even the right size. Of course not. Hey, success. I think that is a tapped hole. It's very level, nice and straight. Well, I'll call that a success. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. It's kind of binding up. Let's give it one more pass with the tap just to see where I'm at. Just holding the depth I was at. See if it matches up with the tap, because if I didn't tap that far, then there's nothing really I can do. Yep, that's the full length of the tap. Very cool. My first clean tap. Hopefully first of every single one without issue. All right, very cool. Very cool. All right, what to do, what to do. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. I might give, see how this is doing. And that's starting to dry. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm just waiting on the damn bearings. I can label these, so I'll tap the holes, label the extrusions, and I mean I'm really just waiting on the bearings here. Let's see. What else can I do? So after tapping the holes, printing the parts, starting the V-slot wheels, and then some spacers. You can assemble the idler bearing. You can assemble that. So I can do figure 8. So it looks like I can assemble the two sides of the frames without needing any wheels. So I'll be able to assemble. I'll be able to assemble the frame without the bearings, it looks like, so that's good. So I'll do that tomorrow. Yep, success. So I can assemble most of the frame, it looks like, without the bearings, which is good. So that'll be fun. So I'll be able to have something to at least look at instead of just a pile of parts and disappointment and no tracking updates. Like, seriously. I'm just checking the tracking now. Nothing, just it was received by the processing facility on the 27th of May. So fun stuff. So yeah, Jake, if I can get those bearings, that would accelerate my build, it seems. Just checking everything while I'm here. Oh, fun stuff. But yeah, thanks guys for joining me on the stream. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining me on the stream. I hope it's been at least a little bit informative or entertaining to watch me kind of stumble through the first steps of cleaning up the Dbot parts. I'm going to be attempting to stream the entire Dbot build, and I'm going to be saving my recordings. I don't think I'll publish them to YouTube just yet, but if you guys want to see them or have any questions or suggestions, please do let me know. I'm sorry for the delay here at the end and the poor microphone quality. I will absolutely be getting a better microphone set up for the next stream. My part for that should be here tomorrow. So if I start assembling any of the frame tomorrow, I'll have hopefully better audio quality. But if not, I might wear a lapel mic, and that way I'm at least louder. But the lapel mic limits my movement, so we'll see how active I have to be during the frame assembly. But yeah, any suggestions or tips or anything, please let me know in the Discord channel. I'm open. I'm all ears for this. You guys are both printing now with your Dbots before I can even get my bearings in from China. So fun. So, but yeah, thanks guys. I'm going to be shutting down the stream, so just ignore my fat face as I dive into the camera. Thanks. Do and stop. Thanks.